Ooh. Welcome back to MMA Underground, your favorite part of Wednesday. I'm one half the dynamic duo known as Buddy V with the one and only.
Sam K. And shit, man. We got two phenomenal guests in the building as always. All the way from Streetbeefs West Coast. He's been making a name for himself. We have the one, the only Bigfoot Brown in the building.
Yeah, Sasky.
And all the way from Street Beef Scrapyard, another man making a name for himself, renaming the name. We got Stone Cold Ree Austin in the building.
Popping, y'all.
How y'all doing?
Great day today, man. Just got done training. Ready for Saturday, man.
Can't complain when the sun is out in Washington. So good day, great day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Bigfoot, you just mentioned the event Saturday. For people who don't know, you've had 3 fights with Street Beefs West Coast. You've had your first fight with Mr. Silas, your second with Takamura, and your third recently with Sega. But this weekend, who are we fighting? And isn't this a rematch? Who are we fighting?
It's a rematch, bro. We got, if this isn't a better fight, a better video, just more entertaining to watch than my first 3 fights, man, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed because I've been working. I know how Silas is gonna come, with the footwork and head movement. He wants to box. So our first fight, he didn't get that. I was kind of, first fight jitters, a little headbutt, head collision. He's not getting that this time. Straight hands, straight improvement, a big upgrade coming his way. So, so I know I haven't really posted any videos. I kind of been trying to keep it that way. Kind of want to surprise you guys. See how you guys react to my footwork that I've been working on. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a banger. It's about to be a banger.
I like that. I like that. Well, one of the main things that you addressed immediately in your second fight, before you guys even started the fight, you mentioned the headbutt situation in that first fight with Silas, and from the outside looking in, I could tell it wasn't intentional. It wasn't malicious, right? Like you said, the first fight jitters. We've seen you in the second fight and the third fight pretty much eliminate all of that. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that rematch, man. I think both of you guys bring a lot of elements of boxing to the table. It's going to be a good challenge.
Yes, sir. I agree with you, man. It's about to be a banger, man. I hope you're in there repping it too, man.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was curious about that because I know Mr. Silas having such a name, and with that being your debut fight, I was kind of curious. I already was going to ask if you felt like there was already eyes on you, but knowing that there's now going to be the rematch, do you feel like more anticipation than the average fight because people are really curious as to how it's going to play out? No one knows, and I mean, like, whoo.
I honestly, man, I don't know what other people are thinking. I just know as the fighter, because I've watched all the fights multiple times, plenty of times. I've watched that first fight. I still watch it to this day. I was just watching it like probably an hour ago, but I'm the anticipation for me. You see where I'm at. I would expect for everybody else to be right where I'm at, man. Because if you don't expect anything more than what I'm bringing, like I'm about to bring the heat. I'm not trying to talk myself up or anything, but man, I've been putting in the work. I've been watching a lot of film, watching a lot of the old greats, Marvin Hagler, Muhammad, Evander Holyfield. Been watching the modern day guys, Lomachenko, Usyk, working on the switch dance, working on the footwork, just everything I could possibly work on to just be a good boxer, man. So I'm self-training myself. I don't got a coach, so I'm locked. I'm at work, I'm training hard. I got my phone out. All I'm watching is boxing videos, so I hope the anticipation is where it's supposed to be at,
Oh, definitely.
Yes, sir.
Silas just has to show up.
Yes, sir.
Now, even though you're bringing the heat, I was going to ask Stone Cold, because it's always cold when you come in the building. Are you fighting this upcoming weekend?
Yes, sir. For the 155 title against T-Don.
T-Don's going to be a fun fight to watch. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not I thought the title was some weaving red.
I think
Or is
he's
that it?
170. I think he's
Okay,
at
okay.
170. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be a crazy fight to watch. And the other week we had on Blue, who was your most recent opponent, and we actually were talking about the level of growth we saw in each of you as fighters. And I wanted to kind of talk and get your thoughts on that fight because I mean your combos were crisp. We saw the growth, but I felt like that was really your best fight because we saw everything not only go the distance, but we got to see you utilize a lot of your arsenal in that fight. I mean, how did you feel about that Blue fight?
Yeah, Blue's my guy. I was not expecting to fight him at all. Kind of like he was saying too. Got there, I wasn't on the board, didn't know what was going on. Next thing I knew, I was the first fight, and it was against Blue, and I was like, ah, because originally I was supposed to fight Blacksmith for that event, but he didn't end up coming. So I was already working on, having to fight a southpaw. Luckily enough, Blue is also southpaw, so couple of things that I had in mind for that fight was making sure I kept my lead leg outside of his lead leg. Um, and also trying to paw his lead hand too with my lead hand to try to keep to negate that jab. But that was a scary fight because he just had a knockout the month before that. So I was like, man, let me not get out here and get
Sure
knocked
did.
out.
Oh yeah, dang, I can only imagine. But I mean, you had some killer fights, and I mean, I think my favorite. Hold on, I wrote it down because I couldn't find some of them weren't even by the name. There was it, the Ty Vaughn. I noticed that you had a killer, nice little KO, but your Philly shell. Do you try to use a little bit more of that in your fights too? Because that's one of the things I was noticing with that shoulder drop.
Yeah. Like he said, I'm also self-taught. So like if you watch my first fight, I didn't really have a guard, didn't really know what I wanted to go with. I was also like super exhausted. So coming back for January, I was like, yeah, let me watch a little bit more film and see what works comfortable for me. One of my favorite boxers is Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather. So I kind of try to do a little mix between both of them with my guard, and it just kind of works for me.
I like that. And before we, oh sorry, was that sound okay?
Oh, I wasn't about to say that.
So before we continue real quick, because I was gonna say we're talking about some of the skills that you have in being whatnot. Bigfoot Brown, you fought Takamura, right? And we all know he's a beast as well. Another big name in there. But I was kind of curious to get your thoughts on the fight because one thing I was like, holy shit, was we saw, people take headshots and they get this toughness and we're like, man, that guy could eat a hit. Takamura's body shots, I felt like when you hit him, I'm like, how is he not phased? Some of these, I saw you like line up, squat down, and just throw your whole weight into it, and it didn't even bother. I was like, so I was curious to see what kind of like what your thoughts were during that fight.
With Talk, see, I wasn't even necessarily prepared to fight him. That was a crazy week, man. It was a crazy week before I fought Talk. A lot of people don't know. I'm not even gonna get all into it, but I learned a lot from that fight. Man, the headshots he was hitting me with, the bodies I could take. You feel me? I could hear the bodies. I could take the bodies a little bit, but them headshots, yeah, I had to. You hear in the background, my mom's her boyfriend. He was like, "Okay, you eating them body shots." And then he started punching me in my head. He's like, "Ooh, not them head ones though." And then you just see me all red and shit. But it was, at the end of the day, it was just, I played football. I've been hit. I've played on broken legs. I got, you guys don't realize, but I got tendonitis on my knees. I'm in pain every day while I train. So it was just at that point, it was just, bro, like, what's worse, Well,
for sure, I could say Talk is he's one of the elite boxers that we have. He's a technician and truly a test. And one thing I could say about you is to go from the technical boxer to the aggressive, brawling, punching style of Sega. You got blessed with both worlds. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, especially still being young, but also being a student of the of combat, right? That's what you appear to be to me, a student of combat. Man, you got a lot of a lot of real primary experience in a short amount of time, you know? And what I wanted to ask you is, what was before the headbutt in the first fight with Silas? How was that fight going in your head? And then what's going to be different in this rematch?
I'll tell you with the whole Silas fight, I could just tell you where my whole mental was in general. Honestly, that was my first fight in like years, like almost 10 years. I haven't thrown hands with nobody, gloves on, gloves off, nothing, just football.
Right.
So definitely had a lot of testosterone, anger, adrenaline pump, you know. As far as how the fight was going, I couldn't even really tell you that. I honestly, the headbutt really threw everything off. Cause like, yeah, I was on him, you know, I was throwing my jab straight, you know, I was leaning a lot. He was getting away from it. I don't think I landed really one clean punch on him, even though I was on top of him majority of the fight. There was no clean punches. It was just me throwing, you know, a barrage of punches, especially towards the middle of the fight. I had him up against the fence. I'm throwing barrages, but I was so tired. I had to back up for a second, you know? So, I mean, if the fight would have kept going on if we would have got to the third round, if there was no headbutt, I think I would have tired myself out because of my energy. And I think he would have just had easy pickings. That's just my thoughts on it, you know?
That's a great assessment. I kind of got to agree with you on that. More so due to first time jitters that drains you, and then not pacing yourself on top of that's going to drain you. So how does this rematch look?
The rematch, I mean, right after we fought, the man immediately asked for the rematch. You know, I'm not going to turn that down. Man, it's looking like it's about to be a good boxing match, man. I'm not gonna lie. You know, we texted a little bit after the first one, and he was like, "Yeah, we boxed a little bit in the first and second round. The third round we could bang." You feel me? So we're gonna have a banger coming up. I plan on using my jab a lot more than what I usually do. I know Silas he gets in the pocket here and there. He outboxes here and there. I've seen almost all his fights, you know, so I think as far as Silas, I'm just gonna kind of have to adapt to whatever style he brings, what type of energy he brings with me. I don't know. I'm more of an adaptive fighter, so I'm not saying I'm gonna let him set the pace because I think I'll definitely do that, but I'm gonna definitely get a feel for where his mental is at with the fight, you know. I expect for him to try to outbox a little bit. I know he's seen my power, you know, not taking no power away from him, but you know, I'm a slugger. I will hit you in your head and, you know, spin you around a little bit, you know. So, and especially now, I've been conditioning a lot more calm, controlled. I trust my defense a lot more. That's why you will not see me dropping my head as much, you know. So I think it's gonna be a dub on my side. I'm the underdog, but I'm rocking with me this time. The first time around, no headbutt, he got that, you know. But this time around, I think that's me all day.
Nice.
When you said that defense, I was gonna say when you fought Sega, I liked it. I felt like there was magnets in your gloves to your head. I saw you right there. I was like, oh, that's what I'm talking about.
This is good, right? But if Sega would have tightened his punches up, his hooks, man, if he would have he would have snuck them things right through here, right onto my chin. You feel me? I wasn't answering the phone with anything. So he had a lot of chin shots, you know, he was just swinging, you know. But yeah, I had my hands up. I was trying to, you know, make sure I didn't just let him get an easy hit on my head, you know.
And that's actually a perfect segue because Stone Cold, when you fought, what's his name? I had it written down over here, JC, for your second fight. I really enjoyed watching that because even though he had his defense was up, I felt like you stuck to your jab and you kept getting right through, and it was just like a continuous thing. And I was going to ask if when you started to, I guess, when you smelled the blood and you drew that from that continuous shot, did you kind of feel like you just needed to stick to your game plan? Because I mean, it was one of those things where I saw it and I was like, oh man, it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, that fight is always I feel like I could have done more, but like I also felt like I didn't need to do more, if that kind of makes sense, you know. After the first round, I felt really good because that was like the first month coming back from the December event. I was watching all my YouTube videos. I was working really hard in the gym. And so when I got out there and I saw that the jab was landing, I didn't land too many right follow-ups. I wish I would have landed more rights. But yeah, once I saw the jab was beating him and he couldn't really touch me too, I was like, yeah, let's just, you know, make it a good fight. You know, his mom was out there too, so that I kind of felt bad a little bit, but not too much. But I felt kind of bad because like, oh, his mom's out here. But it was a good time. They're a wonderful family. JC was a great opponent for me too, to test out everything I had been working on.
And that was a fun fight to watch. Like I said, I was impressed. And I'm curious, and something I would like to ask both of you that is interesting to see is what do you guys feel is your greatest improvement from fighting from Street Beefs? Because one of the things that, you know, Sam K and I enjoy on the show is whether we've had someone after their first fight or their fifth fight is watching the progression of the growth. And so we would like to see from your point of view, what you guys think your best attribute is.
I would say,
you go ahead, brother. I've been talking a lot.
No, you good. I would say for me, one, my cardio, just how much my cardio has improved. All my fights have been, except for Tyvon, yeah, cardio is key. All my fights have been like to the very end. So like I think my cardio is probably one of the best in Street Beefs. Like I don't get tired at all. And also the way I started throwing combinations, I'm really proud of my development with like letting my hands go and firing more punches at my opponents, not as defensive.
Nice.
And Bigfoot?
As far as my best attribute, I would honestly, I don't want to say IQ, but my ability to learn, because I mean, there's not too many guys who could just pick up, you know, as much as I'm picking up, as quick as I'm picking it up, you know, and then the ability to just come back to back. I think I definitely found out I had heart and chin too. I'll put those up there for sure. Definitely got those. So
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head though with the first one, because that's something that made you stand out to me as a fighter. Out of all the fighters we have in the crowd, you stood out simply wanting to get better, learn, you know, apply, and you don't see that with every fighter you come
I'm hungry,
across.
man.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing, man. I wanted to ask you guys, not to get too far away, both of you guys, let's start with Stone Cold first. How do we pick our names? Where did our names come from?
To be honest, I couldn't decide on what I wanted my name to be at first. I was gonna call myself Reed Jones Jr. because, like I said, Roy's my favorite fighter. And then I don't know. I think I was drunk one day with the homies. I was watching Street Beefs, and then I started watching you know, the Austin King of the Ring speech where he's like, Austin 316 says I'm gonna whoop your ass or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. Stone Cold Re Austin. I was like, boom. And then from there I just been Stone Cold. Even when I go to like my local bar, they'd be like, hey, Stone Cold. I'd be like, what's up, y'all? So it's cool.
Now you just need one person, like one of your homeboys, got to be in the background saying, "What?"
I know.
What?
I've been trying to get that.
Somebody got to start the what, man? At the scrapyard, start hitting the what?
Yep, I got you next time. Yep.
Yeah. And Bigfoot?
As far as my name, it's pretty, you know, I know you probably can't tell on the videos. My foot got stuck in the last fight, but I got a pretty big ass foot. I wear size, like, I think I could max out at a 17, depending on what I'm wearing.
Come on, bro.
My football cleats, yeah, I'm only like 6'2", but my football cleats, I used to wear like a 17. When I was like 12 years old, that was when my foot just grew out of nowhere. I was in like a size 12. And then by the time I got into like my 8th grade year of middle school, I was wearing a size like 16 to 18. I was also like pretty thick at the time, so my foot was fatter. I had to wear a big ass shoe. But yeah. And then my grandfather actually used to call me Bigfoot when I was younger too. So it kind of just rode with me.
Ain't nobody making fun of you with them hands you got, bro. So
no.
Come on, baby.
fucking
those boys shit, put a foot in their ass, you know.
Exactly.
Literally.
5'16" up your ass.
Hey, when I first heard your name, I thought you might have been a Scrapyard fighter, you know, because at the Scrapyard, their mascot is the Sasquatch. So I was like, is this somebody from
I seen that.
somebody from Scrapyard?
Yes, sir. I peeped that. I actually watched Stone Cold's fight. I want to say I watched you and Blue fight, and then I watched Blue. He had knocked the dude out pretty bad. That might have been the fight before you, but I was just, I was like, maybe I should, because I started off watching, the OG Streetbeefs like when I was like 15, maybe a while back. But I just found out about West Coast recently and all the other branches. So just trying to educate myself what we got going around. If maybe I want to, fly out, get some new work. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
Always.
You're how young?
I'm 21. I'll be 22 in June.
Dang. And then you're 26, 27?
27, yeah.
You got some young guys in their 20s. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you.
Here to bang, baby.
Yeah. And plus, I was gonna say, with being on Streetbeefs, you have a platform that is able to project you in any way should you want. I mean, we've seen people go to Power Slap, BKFC, a few other promotions as well. I mean, is the end goal here for both of you? Big Feet can go first if you would like, but is the end goal professional, or is it just like all right, let's hear it.
Taking it all the way, baby. That's the ultimate goal. Everything I do. I played football for a bit. I didn't get to go pro with that. So this is the next step right here for me. I'm boxing. I'm a box. I'm gonna do what I do. You feel me? I'm gonna learn quick, and hopefully we climb up the ranks fast too. We got amateur coming up. This was supposed to be my last fight this month with you guys. I appreciate you guys tenfold, man. Like this has been crazy. Like the most craziest 4 months probably of my entire life. So. But yeah, after this, it's to the gym for me, getting my amateur license, getting a team ready to go, and then trying to hit the pros, baby.
Yep.
Nice.
I kind of have some of the same type of goal. One of my goals for Streetbeefs was like, okay, I want to win a championship, so I have a good opportunity to knock that off the checklist. I want to get on the wall, and then once I do all of that, kind of want to go try the amateur route for a little bit, and if I can find success there, want to try to take a shot at going pro as well. And then hopefully, if that goes well, maybe I can fight Floyd in an exhibition for like a couple mil or something.
Well, see, if I ever see you pull up to the Scrapyard like in some Rolls Royce or something or Lambo, I'll know what happened. I'll be like, yeah.
Why not? That's wild.
Well, I was gonna say, what was it? Football players make good fighters, but I can't remember who it was. But who was the basketball player that got in a boxing match and got knocked out?
Nate Robinson.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why you gotta call bro out like that?
No,
Man,
I forgot, and then when he said his name, I instantly saw the KO. Instantly.
It's like, oh,
worked.
what is it? Oh, okay. So I was curious because Stone Cold. I know you guys kind of talked about being self-trained. I'm curious, but you said, sorry, angles are off. You were talking about how even though you were self-trained, I noticed in your first fight, there's this little step back you would do with fights and just a little bit of the hand movement that doesn't necessarily always come natural to people. Were you in a couple fights growing up?
Oh yeah, man. I'm from Tacoma, man. All we did was slap box with the homies, run phase in the bathroom, and middle school, all that. So you pick up some things that maybe you don't realize you're doing, and then like once I started watching boxing videos, I was like, oh, that's what this is. So yeah, just a couple little scraps.
Shit,
I
we're
wanted
not
to
gonna
ask
spar
you.
soon.
My bad. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm saying we have to spar soon or something. I'm in Tacoma too.
Say less. We can get margaritas after.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
I was gonna ask Stone Cold, how did you find out about the Scrapyard, and kind of walk us through finding out, signing up. How did that happen?
Oh, that's a great question because I can segue this low key. I used my two eyes, unlike most people who join the scrapyard group, and I read the instructions. Okay.
What?
I read the instructions. I saw what I needed to do to sign up. I signed up, showed up. That's another important part. I showed up, and then I got to fight. How I discovered the scrapyard, I think like most people, when you're just sitting around on YouTube watching, I saw the OG scrapyard, and then I saw, I mean, the OG street beef, sorry, and then I saw the scrapyard, and I started looking into it a little bit more. I was like, oh, that's in Washington, right across the bridge. So I was like, yeah, I got to pull up one day, and I pulled up.
Nice, nice. And what about you, Bigfoot? How did you find out about the West Coast, and kind of walk us through your whole sign up process, showing up? How did that go for you?
So originally for me, like I said earlier, I had been watching Scarface when I was younger, and I did at that point. I was like wondering, like, I wonder if I'll ever be on here. I'm here now, but as far as the West Coast, you guys know 8 Baby. 8 Baby
Mhm.
popped out. He's my boy from work. We work together.
Okay.
I was at work. I come in. He's sparring. Getting ready for his fights and stuff. This is probably about a year, a little bit more, over a year now. Sparring with him. He's like, yeah, I got Streetbeefs West Coast coming up, telling me to sign up. I was actually supposed to sign up over a year ago, but I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. At this point, I wasn't training, I wasn't doing anything. So I was like, I'm not about to just get in there and just get work. Like, nah. So took my time, you feel me? And as far as signing up, I'm gonna say I asked Dre, and he just honestly was just like, bro, go on their Facebook account and sign up. And from there, I just did kind of like what Austin said, just read, you know.
It's crazy that you mentioned 8 Baby, because I remember when he first showed up to the yard, the first person I had in mind that would be a good matchup for him was Silas. So it's funny.
It honestly,
That's a
I
fire
can see
matchup.
that. I can see that for sure. I can see
That's
that
a
for
fire
sure.
matchup.
'Cause I feel like Drake kind of has a similar style to me. He's mainly the aggressor. So that would
Hmm.
be pretty smooth for sure. He's a little light now though. He's like Dre's because he actually just got a little pro offer, or he almost had a pro offer, but he has a fractured orbital. He
Damn.
yeah. He's like 160 right now, trying to get down to 140.
Wow.
Yeah. And at that point back then, he was probably like 195, I want to say. So he's lost
Yeah.
a
I
lot of
think
weight.
he was fighting in the 180s, 185.
Yeah, around there for sure.
Okay. Well, shout out to 8 Baby. Speedy recovery, and good luck with the endeavors.
Oh yeah. And I'm curious because each of you guys said before that you were a little more self-trained, and it's curious to see how people train themselves. And I was gonna ask you guys, what your kind of like your training regimen looks like when you're trying to prepare for your fight. Like myself, I'll try to do a little bit more of the hit style, or when I do my weights, even though with my lateral raises, my front raises, I do everything in one go, and then I drop it, and then that counts as my one set. So that way I try to have my continuous motion of muscles, but I'm curious. What do you guys do? You guys are skilled, each in a different way in your own right. So I gotta know.
For me, I do 15 rounds each time I go to the gym. And my first 4 rounds are just pure shadow boxing. Shallow boxing in like the pickleball room or wherever the fuck that room is. I shallow box. And then before that I run 1.5 miles around the track. And then I incorporate some sprinting into that mile too, just so I can kind of simulate of how a boxing match goes, because you're not always going one pace. Sometimes you're pop, 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 pop. Sometimes you're back. And then once I get on the heavy bag, I work all my combinations, and then I always finish with just hitting the bag like this, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for like my full round. And I always do so a street beast match is 2 minutes. So I always go for 3 minutes, you know, just to make sure that my cardio's up. After that, I get in the weight room, I start clanging and banging, drink my protein shake, and then I go in the jacuzzi in the steam room, and I take my butt home and go to sleep after I shower.
I didn't incorporate jacuzzi in mine. Shoot.
Man, as far as my regimen, he's a lot more consistent and disciplined. It seems like I don't go 15 rounds. I should be, but I just kind of honestly, I work out depending on my mood, which is a terrible thing. So I do have to kind of motivate myself daily, you know, like, bro, even though you don't want to work out right now, work out. That's why I will do jump rope while I'm at work. My job allows me to do that. So whatever time I get, if I'm in that mood and I got that motivation, I'm working. You feel me? Push-ups, pull-ups. I do pull-ups at work. Mainly, I don't try to do too much strength. I haven't touched weights in some years now. Just mainly push-ups, calisthenics. But after my first fight with Takamura, I got humbled as far as my conditioning. So recently I've been doing like a lot of jump rope. I just ran 2 miles today. I should have ran 3. My papa was mad at me. He was like, man, my papa's sick. He could barely even walk right now. He's like, man, you only ran 2 miles. I could have ran that right now, and I'm not in no shape to run. So I'm like, damn, you right. You feel me? So, you know, but we pushing a little bit. Definitely got to get more consistent, like my boy right here, Austin, for sure. That sounds like a smooth little regimen he got going. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, and you'll learn, man, as you get older. Sometimes certain disciplines are necessary. Like Samke can vouch. Once you hit 30, if you don't stretch, you're probably gonna pull something.
Not to cut you off, I have been. I did forget about my stretching. I've been trying to stretch day and night. Day and night I stretch because my the tendonitis issue I have in my knees and my joints. If I'm not stretching, I'm not playing no sports. I'm not doing nothing at my full potential. Not 100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely essential. And it's kind of a fine thing because you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
You know, but you want to do just enough. You know, but it's definitely a key exercise, without a doubt. I wanted to ask you guys, well, you mentioned your pro endeavors coming up here, Bigfoot. But Stone Cold, could we see you coming to the West Coast at all?
Yeah, I actually watched Bigfoot's fight against Takamura the other night. I watched that one. I'm tapped into Prince KT. I've seen him. What's his name? Throwdown Brown. I've watched him too.
Yeah.
There's one more too that I feel like would be a good fight for me, actually. Dark. I think that's his name. Yeah. He seems like he would be a good fight. So yeah, I should be having probably not this year, but maybe next year. I should have a lot more time in my schedule. And I want to get down there and sweat it out in the hot box one time, see what's going on.
Hey, that's what's up, man. We'd love to have you. The hot box is in Arizona. We do maybe 4 events out there a year, and then all the other events are at the Smoke Ranch in Nevada.
Okay.
And like I said, we love to have you, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap in one day. Y'all see me out there. I'll bring the code. Don't worry. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, well, they got some killer unlockable cages. And bringing that up, I have to ask Bigfoot. Man, you had fought in multiple cages. Do you have a favorite, or what do you like about them? Because I mean, I always think it's cool, you know.
I definitely like the Smoke Ranch more. And the main reason I say that is because of the mat. I'm gonna get into the mat, and I was thinking about this a lot as I was watching the videos back. One thing I love that Smoke does, after almost every match, you know, especially with the guys coming in there with their shoes on, he makes sure he dusts it off, wipes it down, whatever. As as the dirt buildup goes on the mats, you know, it does get pretty slippery in there with some shoes on, at least the ones I was wearing. So it felt nice being in like a cage too. You know, the wood was cool. I'm definitely, I just want to get on some ropes, but the cage is definitely nice. I like the cage for sure.
Nice, nice.
I will say, I don't know if you guys have seen the fight where it was like E7 and Maliko Goon when they busted through the cage. Yeah, and Daniel Bryan, the fight
Oh,
had that alternate angle and it showed the camera fall out and everything fell on top. And I was like, oh.
no, what I
You guys seen
thought
that
was
one?
dope was how you guys had the hay bale set up though. I was watching one of those fights and they were flying over the hay bales. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that was the Smoke Ranch in its baby years.
Yeah, that was some real backyard
Yeah.
Western, you feel me? Like,
Hey, and them hay bales hurt, bro. Them
I
hay
bet.
bales hurt. You could just back into it, you know, with your leg. You're gonna feel that shit.
Yeah, but
Much
they be
less
poking at
flipping
you.
over. Hmm?
The hay be poking at you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
It don't look like it, but yeah, it's
It don't.
definitely, yeah, it's coming for you.
Yes, sir.
Huh. No wonder why country folk are so tough. Dang, okay.
Right, right. And they carrying that shit and they fighting in that shit.
Yes,
It'd be
sir.
dope. I would say it'd be dope to like bring them back, just like almost as like use them as like sitting placements. You know what I mean? Or like use them for like a table areas and shit. Because as an aesthetic, it looks good on camera. You know what I mean? It looks good around the cage.
And that's what I was really thinking for real. Like, it just looks like, you know, you click on the video and, you know, you always see, you know, the cages and stuff, but to have hay bales just set up right there and then just a whole squad of people surrounding it, I thought that was fire.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you, man, because I noticed in your 3 fights, your mom and her boyfriend came out. Uh, how is it having that support system there? Because, you know, not every fighter has that. And, you know, some fighters need that and then some fighters don't. So I wanted to get your perspective on that.
I think that it's a great start for a fighter, or for me at least, you know, to have my mom, especially my mom right there in my corner. Cause definitely the Takamura fight, hearing her voice, hearing the things she was saying, because I was listening, I do listen. It did help me push, you know. Her man being there, it helps because it's nice to just know that people are there to care for me, you know. Flacco came out, he's been out to all 3 of my fights as well. He's another coworker of me and A Babies. He's been fighting. We support each other, you know. It's very nice to have a support system like that, because I come back to my corner. If I get knocked out, I know that I have people that are going to take care of me, you know, and they push me to keep going when I'm feeling like I want to give up. Because I will say this right now, during the Takamura fight, first round, I had thoughts circulating my brain. I'm like, and I've never really thought like this unless I was doing ab workouts. I want to quit. I want to quit. You feel me? But I was like, nah, bro. I heard my mom. She was like, you done been through worse than this. I'm like, you know what, mama, you right. You feel me? So I just kept it going, you know. Number 1 supporter right there. Best corner lady, you know. Couldn't ask for nothing better.
That's awesome, bro. I just wanted to highlight that because, you know, uh, like I said, for some fighters, that's a superpower. You know what I mean? And you know, it's good to highlight that, you know.
Yes, sir. She be talking her little shit, but it's okay. I'll be, you know, still
She
going
was
bang.
going in during that Takamura fight. I was watching. I was
Bro,
like, oh, she going in.
I don't like this. I don't like this. You need to come with some more power than that.
I was tripping out on the Sega fight because I'm like, man, it was so chaotic, you know what I mean, in the ring, you know, and I could hear them outside the ring. I'm like, yeah, if he can manage to get through this first round, he might just take it, you know.
Yes, sir.
Sure
My
enough.
big cousin Ray out there. He put in some work too. He was in there
He fought?
supporting me. Yeah, Big Ray.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was your cousin. Okay.
Yeah, that's my big cousin. Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Hopefully, I forgot who he fought. What his name? Brother John. Hopefully, Brother John comes back and he gets his dub. Hopefully, he learned. Got them first fight jitters out, man.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
I was Stone Cold. You got any family that doesn't necessarily want you fighting, or everybody's pretty cool with it and whatnot too?
No, I got some haters in my family. I'm not even gonna. I got some haters, man. I got a brother. He's like, I think basketball suits you better. And I'm like, man, basketball always got to rely on other people. You feel me? In the when you get in the ring, it's literally just you and your preparation. So if you didn't prepare, if you didn't come right, if your mental's not right, if you lose, that's completely on you. You can't blame teammates not help defense. You can't blame nobody but yourself. So sometimes when I get comments like that from people that I know personally, like, oh, you should just keep playing basketball, it fuels me, you know. I'm like, okay. So unfortunately, whoever my next opponent is, I gotta take it out on them because I'm like, bro, you really making me mad right now. So yeah, I mean my mom though, she's super supportive. She loves it. She goes around showing all her coworkers the videos. I got some people that do, but you know, when people don't like it, it kind of sticks with you a little bit more sometimes.
Most definitely, especially the ones where you thought you're like, oh, really? I thought we were cool. All right, okay.
Yeah.
Man, see, my mom, I told her you can't come to my fights anymore. She can't go to the casino and she can't come to my fights because she's proud. But when she came, the only one she saw that was my worst loss ever. And if I go to the casino with her, I'm losing every time. So now we just hang out outside of the spaces. We have a good time. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
No EQC for mom.
Now, I was curious because you talked about going pro, and earlier we brought up some different pros, whatnot. I was curious if there's any specific pros that you like to study while you're looking for, whether it be footwork, skill work, and everything else, or if there's anyone that you wish you could even hang out with or train that you think would be kind of cool.
I study a lot of Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler is different. Switch stance fighter, lefty fighter for real. He's a natural southpaw, but can switch to the orthodox and tear you up still. And then he's just relentless. You punch him and it just pisses him off even more. You know, like that's what I look up to. I was watching like a little documentary, I guess back in the day when he used to run. He used to go to like this town a little out from his city for 8 weeks. It's like he called it jail. But while he would run, he would just scream war, war, war. You know, like that's the type of mindset, you know, I'm trying to be in if I'm going to be pro.
Hey.
Yeah. His fight with Sugar Ray, they just had the anniversary what, last week?
They sure did. I rewatched that fight with my papa. We rewatched the Thomas Hearns fight. I watched my papa since he's been here. That's all we've really been watching is just all these old boxers. You know, I put on some Usyk for him, show him the modern day, you know, heavyweights, some AJ, Anthony Johnson. You know, I'm watching everybody, man. You could take something from everybody's game, you know.
Facts. What about you, Stone Cold?
I watch Mayweather, of course, Roy Jones Jr. I watch a lot of Shakur Stevenson. A lot of people don't like his style, but he's very crafty. What's his name? I'm drawing the blank. Crawford, Spence, old school fighters. I watch Tommy Hearns a lot. I steal that flick jab from him sometimes. Man, I watch so much. Tony Jeffries. I watch a lot of people. And I steal from everybody. I'm like Kakashi with the Sharingan. I just be watching them and stealing.
You see there, you're like, whoosh, yeah.
Yeah, stealing from everybody.
That's how it should be, man. You know, I I study Jeet Kune Do, and you know the whole idea is to take what works for you and do without whatever doesn't work, do without it. You know, and at that point, you've assembled the fighter that you are. You know, and it's always it should always be adapting and progressing, changing, learning.
Always room to learn.
I think the hardest thing to accept for myself as a fighter was that I am a short fighter. Because there's some of those lengthy guys that do some cool moves, and I'm like, man, I want to do that, and it's just probably not gonna happen. You know?
Hey man, just study DJ Mighty Mouse Johnson, man. That guy's different.
Yeah, he is.
I wouldn't want to fight him, and I got about almost a whole foot on him. I'm good, bro. You got that.
Yeah, he's something else.
You see, he's training death sentence too.
Yeah,
I'm not. What? No, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
I think death sentence just had his first fight.
I'm not talking about it. I'm not seeing it,
bro. It didn't go well for bro. It didn't go well for bro.
Nah.
I'm dead, bro.
That's blasphemy. in fighter form. In yeah.
Bro, DJ know what he doing, bro.
Of course he know what he doing. Oh, he doing quite well with what he doing.
Entertainment, baby.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely. But nah, because we were talking about, all these different things, see people, games, fight moves, and lockable cages is something I brought up earlier. We've talked about video games here, and we kind of got to know if you guys had some sort of secret move. If that was your secret move, your video game move, what would it be?
It's a good question,
man. Like, are we talking like UFC 5, or are we talking like Batman?
What would be realistically, what would be your special move? What's your special?
I think maybe for me, maybe like a dash out, like maybe like I dash out and then I dash back in and jab his ass, something like that, like a something, I don't know. Yeah, like a quick step or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Step out, step in, jab.
Yeah, something like that.
For me, I'm thinking maybe some power, somewhere with the power in there, mixed with the quickness. I don't even know for real. Like, when I think of myself, I think unstoppable, so it's just Captain America on that ass, like a shield, just coming. You're not gonna stop me, I guess I'll just say my uppercut is just crazy. I love my uppercuts.
About to pull a little Haruki. No.
Yes, sir. You feel me?
Hey, okay. Stone Cold. All right, I know how to get that one to work. All right, it wouldn't be a level 2 or like an ultimate. It'd be a level 1 special combo where you push it and then the guy gets hit, but then there's just a shadow figure of yourself right in front of him and you're already back, so you can't get hit. Yeah.
Oh, that's fire. That's fire.
Perfect.
Okay, since you said that, now I'm thinking I'm on some like Scorpion type. You know how he'll like teleport behind you type. I told you guys I got some good footwork hopefully coming up this next fight with Silas. So maybe it's on some Scorpion type shit. You turn and I'm just there and you can't stop me and I'm punching you with a straight now. That's my specialty. That's all I'm going with. Pivot around.
All right. If you start popping up behind me, bro, I'm a 8 count you. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. You start popping up behind me, right then and there.
Bro, I told you, bro, we can't be doing this, Bigfoot.
What are you doing over there?
I was gonna say Bigfoot. I know you said you probably are gonna hit the amateur circuit and only have however many, but I think I heard you say, well, you wouldn't mind one day having a fight with 619. Was that after the Sega fight, or?
I definitely said that because I look at bro and I'm just like, man, I don't necessarily think I would beat him, but the same thing with Takamura, there's something to learn fighting him. His stamina, his tank. It's not the craziest. We only go 3 rounds. They go 5 because he's a champion. But I definitely feel like I could bang with bro. I think that I have the power of Takamura, and I have, if I keep working hard like how I am and cut some things out of my lifestyle, my stamina will be on his level. And at that point, what is there to do? That's a banger right there.
I
know
agree.
you
I would
though, not
definitely. I want to see it, but I want to see you more seasoned, if that makes sense, because he's going to be just as much of a tidal wave as Takamura.
100%.
Right. So, and as far as stamina, gas tank goes, cardio, he's top class he's in that top class as far as the whole branch goes. I don't know how, because I say it all the time. His stomach's soft, his belly's soft. You know what I mean? But this man has got the stamina game locked. So, the mind games, the combinations, and then the overwhelming constant pressure. That's what it boils down to.
And so my comment on the pressure part and footwork to me, is people look at footwork and they're just like, oh, you're scared at that point. You're just trying to get away from the punches. No, that's your defense. You feel me? If you don't have footwork, your legs are just as much as defense as these are, because if you stand in there and you checking punches, you could do this all day, but eventually, there's going to be a punch coming that's unexpected. You just got to back up or step to the side. I think that's where I get him. I definitely think I'm more athletic and faster than him as far as legs are concerned. If I just keep working my footwork, I don't think I would be too worried about him getting me up against the fence or the cage, because he doesn't, from what I've seen, he doesn't have the power to put me down or hurt me, but he does have the volume. And that's what is kind of like, okay, he's going to just keep coming. Relentless. That relentlessness is different, man.
Yeah. How often are you sparring outside of these fights?
If I could, I would do it almost every day. I know that's not smart. I was trying to spar today. It is a little difficult to find, good work, because you could spar with anybody and just not get good work, but I would probably say, as far as before my fights, I try to spar headgear on at least 2 times, 3 times, if I can. I do that with my best friend when he's free. We might go a couple rounds, headgear on. We turn it up a notch as the rounds go on, I tell him, blast me. I don't care, bro. Just put it on me. You feel me? So, no diddy.
So look. I think that's something you need, bro. You need someone that you can spar with on the regular.
Yeah.
And then as time goes, you can move around to different gyms and spar with different people and faces, but you need a sparring partner, you know what I mean? Because we're doing shadow work, you know what I mean, essentially. And it's still good. That's great that you're doing everything. But if we don't have a physical body to work with, if we don't have real danger being thrown at us, it's going to affect, you know what I mean? And specifically talking about someone like 619, you don't spar the week of to get ready for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Just throwing that out there.
I agree with you tenfold. I personally, so not to take over, but so before my fight with Takamura, I said I wasn't going to talk about it. Before my fight with him, and I blame this completely on myself. I can't say like, oh, I would have won, whatever. I lost. Going into that fight that week, bro, I went to my brother's house. I was hitting weights. I was I'm not the biggest runner, but that day when I went to my brother's house, I was sprinting. Like, day come to fight, I wake up. I didn't get to take a shit. I didn't get to take a piss.
Ah, damn.
I ate the wrong food. I had 2 cups of oatmeal with fruits inside of it and a cup of orange juice. The sugar killed me from the orange juice. Got to the fight late. Literally got there 10 minutes before we were supposed to start. Didn't get to warm up. Didn't get to stretch. Did nothing. First fight. Boom. So it definitely just taught me not necessarily something about myself, but how to prep better, you know? So it's all a learning lesson. I'm going to grab my charger. I'm still here. I can hear you.
Thank you.
Yeah, keyword prep, like you said. And that's all of us. We all have to properly prepare. Point blank, you know.
You gotta be ready.
What was that? Proper
Yeah.
preparation prevents poor performance. That's what they say.
Yep.
Absolutely. I like that.
Stay ready and got to get ready.
I was gonna ask Stone Cold because we said how Bigfoot brought up, 619. You're fighting Tito this upcoming weekend. I know, for the belt. We know Maliko Goon had fought at one point around the weight. But was there anyone that had caught your eye at the Scrapyard you maybe would want to fight? Because I know that we've had a wave of new fighters coming in. So I mean,
Yeah, I feel like Goon probably would have been a banger. It would have been crazy to see. If I can put on a little weight, I mean, I do eat a lot. I've been getting kind of fat lately. So when he told me I had to go back to 155, I was like, oh shit. I had to stop eating all my Popeyes and stuff and cut some weight. But even Weeb and Red, like I like how he boxes. He boxes really, really good. And I think that would be a great matchup for me because I think he is someone who is he's definitely skilled higher than me. So I think that would be a good fight. I would even want to fight Viking Warrior. Again, also someone else who is skilled higher than me. But just for the experience, like just want to see what he's working with. He's long. I know he would jab me. So I think that would be a cool fight too. Not saying that I would win or anything like that, but I would want the fight.
Commendable. That man, 11 feet tall, bro.
Yeah.
With 7 foot wingspan.
Hey, who y'all talking about? I kind of want to check this fight out.
Viking Warrior. That's the Scrapyard's champion.
Yeah, he just went pro.
He just went pro.
Yeah.
He had a fight this week, or last. What day is it?
I think he's got a fight coming up, right?
Yeah, I think there's one coming up.
Because he already won. He won one before. So I'm like,
yeah, he won the one before the one last week.
Hey,
but
Fair Play fights in Scrapyard too? I thought he was OG.
He's been there, but he's an OG fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's come to the West Coast. Fair Play's been to every yard. He's been to he's been to every yard.
That's one guy, I think Streetbeefs, he pops up in my head for sure.
Yeah.
He's the most respectable fighter too. Like I've seen him call people way younger than him, yes sir, yes ma'am, and I'm like, oh, what the? He's shaking hands, so respectful. I'm like, man, half these people don't realize he can whip everyone's ass, dude.
He reminds me of Muhammad Ali. Hella.
Yeah.
Hella.
He mixed Ali and Tyson with his boxing, But definitely one of the GOATs.
That's what he said?
That's my assessment. I mean, we've had him on the show, and he pretty much agreed with me. But one of the GOATs.
Fire.
Oh yeah. And
I would fight him too, even though he's filthy. I would fight him too.
All for the experience, baby.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to fight better than what you're doing, so I know a couple people from all the different I can't really say too much from OG West Coast, really, just like one or two from Scrapyard that came out, got a few wins, and then they were like, oh, we got someone good for you, and they were like just ghost. All of a sudden, no one could get a hold of them, can't call them, can't nothing. I'm like, what? You don't want to challenge yourself? Come on now.
Yeah, I've
No.
definitely I seen a fighter, a new guy show up one time, and dude was like pumping himself up, doing push-ups in front of everybody, shadow boxing really hard, putting his game face on. And they said, okay, you're fighting that guy over there, smaller guy. He looks over, and it's one of our big names, and he's like, oh, well, see, you know, he's been fighting for way too long. You guys, I don't think it's like, hold on, bro. Like you
Oh
was just
God,
doing the macho
what
man.
happened to that energy?
Yeah, it was crazy. So we see it. I think every branch sees the real and the fake. The ring is gonna display what you are, and you can't run away from that unless you don't get in the ring.
Nope.
Absolutely. Now, even though we're having a fun time and I'm having a blast like we always do, there comes this point in the show where I have to be this terrible person and say we're going to have to start slowly wrapping things up because I know we're in different states, time zones, everything of the sort.
Yes, sir.
But I always got to make sure, too, Samke, did you have any final questions that you might have for our guests before we end up trying to wrap everything up?
Final question. I guess for both of you guys, let's start with Bigfoot. Let's go ahead and speak it into existence. If you could have a sponsorship with any company out there, who would it be?
Man, I've really been liking Fairtex a lot. I love Fairtex right now. I'm a big Muay Thai guy, so I love Muay Thai.
Okay.
I watch a lot of boxing, but if I could compete Muay Thai, not saying I can't, just my leg stuff, I kind of try to stay away from the Muay Thai competition. But man, those guys are different. So I would go Fairtex for sure.
Nice.
Fairtex.
Yes, straight out of Thailand, baby.
And Stone Cold?
For me, I would say probably Nike, of course. I love Nike. Portland's like right down the street, so I'll just be driving over there every day. Like, yeah, what you guys got for me?
That's fire. That's fire. For sure.
Right, be like, hey, it's every other day. Where's my new box of shoes? Come on now.
You're right.
Dang.
And the socks.
Yeah, I'll make a little money off the resale too. Sell some of my exclusives.
Fire.
Heck yeah. I'll just say you gotta be looking crispy too, because I noticed the extra shine on both y'all do-rags looking all nice too. Like, all right.
I didn't even notice we both got do-rags on. Where my do-rag at? I feel left out, bro.
I got the silky, he got the lavender, You feel me?
Hold on, bro.
Hell yeah. I'm Mexican.
Okay.
I use a stocking cap.
Hey, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Period, point blank.
Oh, he's got his dude. Hold on. What?
But you know what's crazy though, bro? All of y'all got hair, bro. I got this do-rag on, bro, but your boy is thinning. Your boy is...
Hey, that might be a sign that we chop the top and grow out the bottom.
And you seen the beard? I just chopped the beard down like yesterday. My mom was like, "Man, why'd you do that? That was like your signature." And I'm like, "Yeah, it'll grow back. It'll come back." But I had to cut it down. I had it for like almost a year. My beard was long like that. So
Dang.
I'm a young man, bro. I gotta, clean up a little bit. Look my age.
I feel it.
Right, it'll come back more filled in. Your muscles more filled in. Yeah.
Period, point blank. Type energy, bro. That's what I like. Yes,
Shit, buddy. Did you have any other questions?
No, we had a good time. Pretty much went through everything. I just need to make sure that we get all the socials because I gotta follow you guys on Instagram, Facebook, or everything else that you guys got too. So
yes,
thank you, Blue. Heck yeah.
Yeah, for me, Instagram, easiest name in the world, Stone Cold Austin. I'm on there. Wait, can we get a quick shout out real quick?
Hell yeah.
This is the time.
Right, yeah. Bad. I want to give a quick shout out to my boy QP. That's my sparring partner. We spar all the time together. Met him at the December event. We've been locked in ever since. So shout out to my boy QP for real.
IG Terrell.Brown85. Go follow that up. I follow back. Shout out to Sega. Shout out to Takamura. Shout out Silas. We gotta run that thing back. Hey, shout out Streetbeefs. I appreciate y'all boys. I've been learning a lot about myself as a young man. Couldn't ask for anything more. Appreciate y'all boys.
Hey, we appreciate y'all, man. It's been a phenomenal show.
Yes, sir. This was a great show. I enjoyed this a lot. Talking is not really my thing, but I was feeling myself. Talking y'all brains off.
Hey, this is just the first of many, right?
Yes, sir. That's how I was looking at it. It's like training, you know? Get me ready for, you know, even though you guys are a smaller podcast, you know, we're still sitting here talking, you know, we're live, you know, it's training, you know, this is getting me ready.
Yeah.
One day I might be sitting in hot boxing with Mike Tyson one day, you know, who knows?
Hey, all I ask is let me get a hot dog and a soda. That's all I'm asking. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking.
I got you.
Hey, well, y'all have a great night, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Nice meeting y'all.